Good morning and thanks so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
And it's nice to meet you.
Absolutely.
This has sparked a lot of reactions from Nigerians. 10 billion naira solar power installation in Aso Rock. Is Aso Rock in darkness? What exactly is happening?
Aso Rock is not in darkness, but Aso Rock is trying to improve the energy, source of energy, to make the government policy and program come alive more. Before we are looking at the costing, what of the benefit? And that's why when spokesperson of Mr. President want to go on air, they should consult with experts in that area. I only have observation in the justification by the president's spokesperson, Mr. Bayo Onanuga. That is how he view it, by comparing that policy or project to White House. That is what is generating the backlash. One. Two, people are looking at the cost. What is the benefit? We have environmental benefit, we have social benefit, we have economic benefit. Before you understand these three indices that I've just mentioned, I'll just give you a breakdown of how much it costs to produce 1 megawatt. Generally, 1 megawatt, if you want to produce electricity from solar or renewable energy, using 1 megawatt, you need about $1 million. And the federal government want to use 10 billion naira. 10 billion naira is just about, we produce about 6.5 megawatts. But the question is, what is the power quantity? What is 1 megawatt in terms of power delivery? 1 megawatt will power between 500 to 1,000 ohms. I want you to look at it in that perspective. And if you look at that video I'm showing, that is playing, is video from one corporation in Nigeria, Earth Institute in Nigeria, LUT, that have gone off-grid. They have a mixed grid. They have solar, they have gas, and they are using electricity. LUT themselves made, the MD, the medical director of LUT, said they have reduced cost of energizing LUT by 50% just for going on solar.
So this is just meant for saving costs. Is that what you're
meant
saying?
For saving cost. Don't forget. Why do you forget history? Mr. President said in his manifesto that he is going to implement renewable energy. And solar is one of renewable energy sources to support our national grid. If we continue like this, you see, we say a step in
the right direction.
It's better late than never. If Mr. President remove Aso Villa from national grid, the plus there is that 5,000 to 6.5 megawatts that we are going to be deriving from national grid will now be dispersed to other users, the public. Are you getting that? Then the cost of energizing the villa will reduce by close to 30 to 40%. That's saving public fund. That is the wise way of spending money. And did Mr. President fault any constitutional law? No. He went through appropriation. They approved it. He's following the energy transition plan. Nigeria plan to generate another source of energy by 2050. They want to generate close to 250 gigawatts of electricity through another means. Solar is one of it.
You know, you have to understand, sir, why Nigerians are a little bit enraged about this. We are consistently experiencing power failures. I mean, you live in Lagos as I do.
Yes.
You've seen what has happened in the last few days.
Yes.
And so somewhat from that perspective, you know, Nigerians are expecting, if Aso Rock is going to have some level of stability in power, maybe the entire country should have the same thing as well. Isn't it possible for the entire country to go solar powered?
That's to lead by example. Mr. President is trying to lead by example. Let me give you the Zambia example. In Zambia, the government of the day introduced a policy. Big corporations like you, like NNPC, like FRS, all big corporations, they are removing them from national grid. They are generating their own mini grid to have energy sufficiency for the general public. And let's remove 6,500 megawatts from our national, you reduce the stress on our national grid. Then that power could now be given to Yanya, Karu, all those people, because they are neighborhood around Asokoro and all those areas. Anybody that can generate your own electricity from another, you are helping the national grid.
Speaking of this national grid,
yes,
sir, what exactly is wrong with the national grid?
There is infrastructure decay in our national grid.
So who is to be blamed?
Yeah, same government. But the government is now trying to make effort to reduce stress on our national grid. Instead of what to support them, to complement them, that is a right step in the right direction, we are castigating them. You see,
you know, sometimes some Nigerians will have said, we trust governments. We've seen a lot of projects that did not see the light of the day. So how do you want Nigerians to believe in this solar power project?
My brother, this one has seen the light of the day. I know Mr. President very well. I know him very well. You might start slowly, but I can tell you, and let me give you economic impact of this economic impact of what this Mr. President has done by introducing this, removing villa from it. If they have spent that 10 billion naira to pay AEDC, how many years will it take? That solar project that you see can last for 20 years, 7 years without maintenance. You only go around and be replacing the battery. That extra fund could be used to channel to education. So let's look at it in a very big perspective, not just at their own myopic perspective. There is environmental benefit, yeah, such as greenhouse gas reduction. And Nigeria is, let me now give you this shocking data. Nigeria is blessed with solar potential.
Absolutely, immensely.
Immensely. There is no state in Nigeria that cannot be hooked up to solar. Nigeria has solar potential of about 427,000 megawatts. Ask me.
So
how many megawatts are we?
So how can we tap into this? It will reduce this issue of epileptic power supply that some Nigerians are experiencing.
We have not even tapped into 1% of it. We are only generating close to 470 to 500 megawatts of electricity from solar, and we have the potential. Forget about the coastal area like Lagos that has maybe can generate between 3.5 megawatt hour of due to intensity of sunlight because of the cooler atmosphere, the froggy environment. But when you go to core north, the intensity is about 7.0 megawatt hour per meter square. That is the potential of Nigeria in the area of solar energy. Why are we not tapping? And again, by the time we start employing this strategy to popularize solar, there will be economic advantage. The economic advantage, more jobs will be created.
What would be your advice to the federal government?
Okay.
Just a moment. We've seen the CNG initiative. We've seen the student loan initiative and many other initiatives of this renewed hope agenda. What is your advice to the federal government to ensure that there is more transparency and accountability in this solar power initiative?
Why are we making noise about this solar power? Solar power initiative have been in existence for over 25 years or 30 years in Nigeria. Successive governments have been trying their best. This is the only president that has had the initiative to implement action of government. Since in the 80s, who moved to Aso Rock? Babangida. From Babangida to President Tinubu, the only person who now have the vision to actualize reducing the cost of powering solar in Nigeria, you are not giving him a bad name. See, what I would advise government to do is this, because solar power electricity generation is capital intensive from a start, but you will make up your money on the long run. You will save the money on the long run. And the example is this. If you are spending 10 billion naira now, they will not pay AEDC 429 million naira when Villa was thrown into darkness. They want to disconnect. That's a national embarrassment. From there, if we remove Villa, we now go to Federal Secretariat. Currently, Federal Ministry of Works, we forget, has been on mini-grid since 2019. And don't forget that President Tinubu didn't just wake up one day and said he wants to start solar. He met it on ground. He signed the Electricity Act. Inside the Electricity Act 2023,
it was
there was a plan to improve renewable energy. Solar is part of it. I will advise government to encourage other sources of renewable energy to energize our nation, inject it into our national system, and they should spend more money on infrastructure. How would they do? The only program and policy that attract more foreign investment today that you can get money from outside is renewable energy. Rwanda got $490 million through African Development Bank for green funding. What did they use to do? They used to fund homeowner solar projects on a PPP district, just like the Lut example. Lut now, they have 5 megawatt gas power IPP. They couldn't sustain it. They have electricity from National Grid. It's too expensive. Now they went solar. Most of their critical equipment in their emergency and this are now enjoying 24/7, and they are saving money.
So are you advising Nigerians to also go solar? Because we have this report here saying the project is expected to reduce dependence on the national grid, like you rightly said, to cut energy costs for the state house, especially considering that Abuja Electricity Distribution Company listed a presidential villa among top government as debtors with outstanding bill of about 923.87 million naira in February 2024.
This is the kind of justification I was expecting from the presidential spokesperson. He was supposed to have consulted widely with experts, maybe Rural Electrification Energy MD, maybe what's it called, Energy Council, or maybe Energy Commission, or even Minister for Science and Innovation, to give him the benefit of having solar, rather than comparing our own to the White House and the White House own. This is what people don't understand. It's not that they don't have electricity. They have electricity 24 hours in White House, but in case of emergency, you know, they have weather problem. That's what that solar power in the White House is meant for, to support emergency. You know, they can have hurricane, they can have how many hours of sunlight do they have there?
Do you also talk about quality of this solar power project?
My brother, quality is key.
Very key.
Very key. And that is why the standard that the Mr. President has taken, I support it. Because they're going to give us the best quality.
And speaking of quality, before we let you go, because we don't have a lot of time to deal with you this morning, some of the materials used to implement this solar energies, is it locally sourced or from outside?
Good question. We don't have enough local manufacturer in in Nigeria for now, but we can start by the problem is funding. I expect Mr. President to go on the table now, call the National Assembly, call the Minister for Environment, let them come up how we can have a green bank. Green bank will be the reciprocatory bank to receive all the grants and the loan that is coming from multilateral and use it to encourage local manufacturers. Do you know how many solar vendors that we have in Nigeria now?
Do you power your house with solar energy as well?
Of course.
Oh, okay. All right.
Of course.
It's a fine place. It's a fine place to live it. Environmentalist and public affairs analyst Idowu Salau. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you
on the program this morning. Well, we can just continue with you, but time will not permit us.
You're welcome.
All right, that